If you ask the faithful, where can they stand to improve on this team? I think the majority of the faithful will say the cornerbacks room. On today's episode, we got some available cornerbacks, and we're going to talk about it by discussing it and breaking it down right here on the Wayne Breezie Show. Smash that like button, baby. It's Monday. Let's get it cracking. What's going on, 49er faithful? Happy Monday! Let's go! And welcome to the Wayne Breezie Show, man. It's your boy Breezie. We're live. We're kicking it. It's Monday. And man, it feels good to be here. I look forward to Mondays because there's not much content I'm doing right now. I'm working on a new niche. You guys can check that out. Breezie Eats. Make sure you follow me on Facebook and Instagram. The link is posted right here on the YouTube live feed. So you can click on this right in the comments, right in the chat, live chat. So click on that joint. Follow me there. I'm going to be going around different places, trying foods, rating foods, all that good stuff, and recreating foods at some point. I will be creating a new YouTube channel at some point, so make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. And I appreciate it, but it's good because I want to make sure that I'm giving you a Wayne Breezie Show every single Monday. During this off season, we can sit here, we can kind of talk 49ers. Before I get the show started, I want to thank each and every one of the faithful out there for your thoughts, your condolences, your prayers. Thank you for your strength. That saying, there's strength in numbers. That's a true thing. And the amount of prayers and thoughts that I get, I was a little leery about posting it, but I lost my grandmother on Saturday. It was I knew time was coming near to end for her. I got a chance to see her last Tuesday, and I got a chance to speak to her, even though she was, asleep. But she did respond. And then on Saturday, I was asked to talk to her again because the family felt like this was going to be the end. And I spoke to her, and she didn't respond, so she was unresponsive. But she, minutes after we spoke, after I was able to just express my love, she passed away. So, like, I'm dealing with it the best way I know how, and I wanted to be here with you guys because I miss talking to you. I miss the feedback. I miss the conversation, and I didn't want to be away from anything. I guess I'm trying to be as normal as I can be until I've not. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you guys for all the love, the thoughts, the prayers, the condolences. I mean, it's out there. And shout out to all the Breezy Bunch crew members. I appreciate you. Jax Knox, the super chat contribution. You didn't have to do this. Wayne, we love you. Just know everything is gonna be okay. God will see you through. Let's laugh and have fun and enjoy the show. That's right. Let's laugh, let's have fun, and let's enjoy the show. That's what I'm here for. Jax, thank you for the super chat contribution. I truly appreciate it. Peachy, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Sending condolences to you and your family. Please show some extra love for our favorite content creator. Have a great show. Peachy, thank you so much for all you do as well behind the scenes, creating content, like creating the shows. Just I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And just for being a member. I know you will remember we tried to go live at 12, but something was going on where I clicked live. I was talking. I talked for about 5 minutes. I gave a 5-minute show and nobody was responding until I realized that I couldn't be seen or heard. And I was like, oh, okay. So, but we're back. We're back anyway. So, Peachy, thank you so much. Don't Bother Me's in the building. You guys know, if you're not a member of the channel, become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew. The link's right here in the live chat. You'll get first priority, get the early show shout outs, all that good stuff, just for being a member of the crew. And I appreciate it. Brandy, what's going on? Hey, Breezy, hugs, kisses and hugs and prayers to you and your family. I appreciate you as well, just for being a member of the channel and just through your thoughts, your prayers and condolences. Ben, what's going on, baby? Appreciate it, man. I see the message you sent, the private message, and I'll definitely get to it. I promise. Um, I just wanted to go up and do a show, you know what I'm saying, and get this popping. 49er Jeff is in the building. Definitely appreciate that. The love is there, man. Thank you. We're gonna get through this show. Like, you know what I mean? We definitely gonna get through the show. Eddie G and the B Dogs, what's going on, man? Shout out. Just guys for just being members. I know it's not a lot going on. I'm not offering a lot. You guys know when you're a member, I offer over a lot. You know what I'm saying? So right now I'm just in one of those transition periods, but I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate this. You know what I'm saying? And my boy Rick's in here. He says, excellent job that, you know, what we bring to the table. I appreciate that. 49er Jeff, thank you so much. But Rick starts the show off with a question. He wants to know what's going to happen to Brandon. And I think he's talking about Brandon Aiyuk. You know what I mean? And my thoughts on Brandon Aiyuk, you know, it's the NFL and it's the 49ers and anything can happen, right? I think my thoughts are this. It would be hard to trade him because I'm not sure if a team wants to trade for an injured player. That's just my theory on trading a guy like Brandon Aiyuk. Now, let me be clear. I don't believe that the 49ers want to move him, but it sounds like there may be a little discourse between him and the 49ers, according to certain people in the media outlet. All right. Now, I will shout out 49ers NBC. I'm going to give them a round of applause because they did report, they did tweet that in the offseason process, Brandon Aiyuk has been in the wide receiving room with wide receiver coach Leonard Hankerson, and he's been working with the younger players, getting them up to par and stuff like that. So that's positivity. I'm all about positivity. I'm not looking to spend anything negative, cryptic messages, all that type of stuff. I'm not here to break it down. I'm here to evaluate it and let you guys formulate your own opinions on it. But as far as me, I think Brandon just wants to play football. And if you ask me what were my thoughts on Brandon Aiyuk, I think he's bored as hell. I think he's just bored. The dude wants to play and he can't get out on the football field. I mean, just imagine you healed, but you got to go through the processing, the recovery processing. It's a slow process, regardless of how healed you think you are. Like, there's steps to this, and he's just still on the baby steps part of his recovery. And so I just think he's just going out there just being Brandon Aiyuk, having a good time. So, Rick, I hope that answered your question. I don't see anything happening to Brandon Aiyuk. And here's my take. Let this man be him, okay? Let him be him. Because my thing is this, and this is my personal opinion. Like, we don't want him going to a place mentally to where there's, like, no return. Like, if this is him expressing himself, it's not in a negative way. He didn't degrade the team. He didn't do anything to anybody, actually. He's just posting. Just let the man post, and you can take it. You can have your opinion. You can formulate your opinion. You can talk about it. You can content create on it. Fine, cool. But just let him be him, because I always say coming off of an injury, man, that's got to be one of the toughest things mentally to return from. It doesn't even matter the injury. It could be a goddamn paper cut. You trying to figure out how to not get the paper cut again. Will it affect my hands? I don't know. I'm being funny or facetious. But, man, this dude tore 3 ligaments in the knee. 3. And so I'm sure he's anxious to get out there and play football, Rick, and everybody else that's watching. And thank you for asking that question. I do appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Guys, hit that like button. Comment, all right? Share this joint, please, man. We got people live on Facebook. We got people live on, I guess, Twitter, X. I don't know where they're live at, but yeah, we're live everywhere. So make sure you guys share it. You know what I'm saying? So do me a favor, do that. And again, you could become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew. And since Rick derailed the show a little bit, not derailed it, but like, you know, maybe going a kind of different direction, let's talk about Jordan Watkins, 49ers 4th round draft pick, who I had heard is tearing. He tore up the OTAs, right? So just do a quick OTA recap. The organized team activities, those dates are in the books. Their case closed. Next up, we're going to have 49er minicamp. We'll talk a little bit about that. But I'm hearing Jordan Watkins. I'm hearing great news from the 4th-round pick, Jordan Watkins. I'm hearing he's running with great speed. He's running good routes. He has great hands. This is a plus for the San Francisco 49ers, especially with an injury to their number one wide receiver in Brandon Aiyuk. And this might alleviate some of the pressure. And I know people are going to push back on this. And I know, to me, Juwan Jennings is wide receiver 1. I don't give what anybody says. But my point is this helps alleviate those double teams. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how it works out, because I love Juwan Jennings. I love when he's being able to be utilized in the slot. But when you move him out to the X, he doesn't pose a threat too much, in my opinion. Depending on how he wins the route, like, is he winning with strength? Is he winning if it's one-on-one, if it's man coverage? Because if it's man coverage, it's Juwan Jennings all day. If it's zone coverage, it's more what the wide receiver has to do to deceive the defensive backs. And I'm not saying he can't, because he does it great. But if you're getting production from other wide receivers, Ricky Pearsall, these other guys, Jordan Watkins, I'm asking, is he wide receiver 2? And I know a lot of people are going to push back because Ricky Pearsall is the guy. Heard great news from Jacob Cowing, building a rapport. But I'm hearing a lot because Kyle Shanahan made it clear that this cat was not going to see the football field pretty much his rookie season. But if he's progressing faster than what we thought, could he potentially be wide receiver number 2? And you can push back. It's cool. That's what we're here for. This show is about pushback, right? I love it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited. Shout out to Michael. Michael says he's finally catching the line. Let's show him some love out there, man. What's good, Mike? I just happened to see this joint pop up, man. Thank you again for y'all prayers and stuff like that. I appreciate it, Mike. Thanks for joining the show, man. Hope you subscribe to the channel and you can catch as many lives as you can, brother. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying like I'm crowning Jordan Watkins, but if he keeps the trajectory moving, trending upwards, if he continues to ascend, this is great news for the San Francisco 49ers. Great news. I'm hearing he's running great routes. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm hearing that from the footage that we're seeing and from the reports that we're reading, that his route running is great. And I said on the show when we drafted him, that was one of the key things that he had that I liked. I liked the fact that he runs good routes, but seeing him run it on a professional level, just in camp, OTAs and stuff like that, I think that's pretty good. Saw a great version of a whip route. I would like to see it polished up a little bit, but I loved him being able to stick his feet in the ground, plant, turn, boom, and get open underneath. I like that because you're going to see a lot of defenses. I think a lot of the defenses that the 49ers are going to play this year are going to be zone-based defenses. So get ready. It's going to be a lot less man, a lot more zone. And so these are the routes that you got to be able to win underneath, in my opinion. So Jordan Watkins, potentially. Now, look, we got Ricky Pearsall. He's definitely going to be the guy that everybody's eyes are going to be on. You got Jacob Cowing. But here's what I'm thinking about the wide receiving room. I'm thinking it's going to be interchangeable because even Juwan Jennings as the X can still play in the slot. I wouldn't use him as a Z, which is behind the line of scrimmage, doing all those kind of reverse routes and all. Nah, he don't got the speed for that. He tried it once and man, it got blown up. That which to Juwan Jennings' defense, not saying he wouldn't have ran it right, but to his defense, Jake Brendel forgot to block. I want to put that out there. I'm not gonna crap on my guy when it's not his fault. But if you don't watch the film, which you guys can watch me break down film on my Patreon, but if you don't watch the film, you would have just thought Juwan Jennings was slow as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what you would have thought. So, in my opinion, it's going to be interesting to see the wide receiving core. It feels like Leonard Hankerson, I don't know, whatever. I'm messing up on this, but it just seems like he's getting the best out of the talent that he's been given, and it's different. He's getting speed, right? Like he's getting speed, and it just seems like he's using it properly, and I loved it. Like I love it a lot. Rusty, what's going on? Rusty says missed routes were a significant part of Purdy's interception. So let's talk about this, and shout out to my big bro Rusty, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate the text too, man. I hope I was able to respond. You said missed routes were a significant part of Purdy's interception. And I see your comment, Tupac at the Cheesecake. All right. and 49er draft, I'm going to address that. Check this out. This is 100% correct. And it wasn't just, can I break down what you mean by missed routes? Because if you don't know this by now, the key to Kyle Shanahan's offense is called timing. It's a clock. Tick, 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 tick. And it's mechanical. Like, every time I break down Kyle Shanahan's offense, I don't know why I go to the mechanical functions, not of this old Apple Watch, right? You got to go back to a watch, and you open up the watch, and you look at the mechanisms, and they all are doing a job at a certain time. And if one part is off, it's going to force the watch to be off. Think about it like this. I'm breaking it down as simple as I can if you guys understand timing. When Kyle Shanahan's offense, if there's one piece that is off timing slightly, now you got to ask other pieces to overcompensate. And it's hard when everybody is moving. These are moving pieces we're talking about too, right? We're not just talking about like a standing piece that just only does this. No, these are moving pieces. They have variety, variation, and things like that they have to do. And so when you watch the missed routes, it wasn't just, I like that you use the term missed routes opposed to wrong routes. Yeah, I saw some wrong routes being ran. But I saw a lot of missed routes, meaning missed timing routes. Man, give it up for my man Rusty for that comment. Because a lot of missed timing was going on, which meaning Brock Purdy's expecting the guy to be here at this time because he's just what is it? Relax, relate, and release. He's just releasing the ball, and the receiver, he's expecting the receiver to be on break. And when that receiver's on that break, the ball's going to be at a spot. The ball's not going to the receiver. The ball's going to be at a spot. And if the ball is at that spot and the receiver's not at that spot, that means there was miscommunication. That means there's missed routes, missed timing, everything. And boom, they lead to mistakes. Now, I love that comment. Shout out to 49er Jeff. Brock is throwing darts. Yes. Brock's going to be the best quarterback that we've had since Steve Young. I'm going to leave it at that. And if Brock can stay healthy, he'll probably even surpass. All Brock got to do is win a Super Bowl. We could put him in the Steve Young conversation. Am I wrong for that? Somebody going to clip that up. If Brock gets a Super Bowl victory, he enters surpassing Steve Young. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, and I'm a Steve Young fanatic. That's my guy. Joe Montana, best quarterback we've ever seen. Steve Young made quarterbacking fun. But Brock, all he got to do, just get one. Because that's how many Steve has. And I feel like Brock overall will evolve into a much better quarterback. I think his processing is better than Steve. And once he understands the ad-lib part of football, meaning the more experience Brock Purdy gets, the more the ad-libs are going to be so natural. Y'all curse me out in the chat if y'all want to. Look, 49er Jeff said no. Like, how am I on one? Tell me. Okay, so let's talk. So let's have a conversation. How many Super Bowls Steve Young got? How many Super Bowls Steve Young has? He has one Super Bowl. Matter of fact, got the team to the Super Bowl one time, got the monkey off the back, and never returned, correct? Definitely had to retire due to the concussions and situations, right? So if Brock Purdy, who seems to have outpassed Steve Young on many statistics, right, opposed to like yards and stuff like that. But my point is, if Brock gets one, I'm not even going to say they're tied. I feel like that's a passing mark or a benchmark or whatever you want to call it. And if he wins two, he'll definitely be the second best quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. But why can't Brock be up there with Steve? Steve's nostalgia is great, but Steve only won once. I didn't say he was better yet, Alex. I said if he wins a Super Bowl, he'll win the MVP. Steve Young was never MVP of the league, but Steve Young was MVP of that Super Bowl. If he wins, I believe if Brock Purdy gets us to the Super Bowl, we win it, he'll be MVP. So how does that not make him a better version of what we've seen with Steve Young? Especially, he's healthier. He's not dealing with the concussions. I don't think he has to win two. I feel like if he can get, and what I said was, I'm going to be clear. I said if Brock wins the Super Bowl, we could put him in the conversation of surpassing Steve Young. That's what I said. Do not change my words, please. Don't do that to your boy Breezie. Not around this time. Come on, man. I'm already dealing with a lot of stuff. All I said was if Brock wins the Super Bowl, he could be in the conversation of surpassing the great Steve Young. And y'all know I'm a Steve Young fanatic. And it's cool. Yo, you guys got your own opinion. Shout out to my bro Joe, says I agree. If he can get a Super Bowl, he's in the category. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Oh, you said you couldn't believe I said that. Listen, I feel that's where it is. And to surpass him, 49er Jeff, he has to win too. He has to win too. Oh, DeMarcus says Steve Young has 2 league MVPs. All right, cool. Say less. Shout out to my brother DeMarcus as well. Hey man, are you still selling your products, bro? Because you had some of the best. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna promote that on my food page. You have some of the best meat rub paws that I've ever tasted in my life. I mean, the blended spices and herbs that you put in the rub. Oh my gosh, man, phenomenal. Shout out to my brother DeMarcus, man. Look, man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Here, all we need from Brock is to stay healthy. I think that the career longevity is going to put him there. And like I said, I did say I think that his processing is better than Steve Young's. I think Brock's I think Brock's ability to process on the foot. Even Steve Young's, he didn't say he was better, but Steve Young says that's the best attribute of Brock Purdy. To me, I think when I talk about Brock Purdy being like in the elite category, and I know a lot of people got him in the top 10 and you got he's ranked 8th or whatever. I love it. It's room to improve. I'm glad that Brock is not the best quarterback in the NFL. I never said that either. But I'm glad that he's in the conversation of being a top 10 quarterback. I know some of the bigger companies out there doesn't want to put him out there as top 10 or whatever, but I'm glad that he's starting to be seen, because when I look at Brock Purdy, to me, what makes him elite is his ability to process. And when he has everybody on the same page, it's like clockwork. And I think that's why I'm so excited. Young, old, need to learn more. I burn, baby, burn like disco inferno. Like old school, new school, need to learn more. I like the fact that Brock took care of what he needed to take care of, got that contract extension, settled, done. He's been out there. He's building the rapport. He's building the chemistry. He's building everything that he can with every single player, weapon on his team. The timing, that is what's key for the 49ers moving forward. You already said that they were off time, and Rusty already said missed routes. The timing was so off last year. Add injuries to that. You know what I'm saying? Marty Marr, 49 Empire. This is my brother right here. Sound like a future Hall of Famer. Listen, Brock has got to find a way to get this team to the Super Bowl and succeed in winning it. It's gonna be a long ride. But here's what I like what the Niners have done. They've gotten younger, and I'm hoping that we're starting to see evolvement from Kyle Shanahan, right? Because I think a lot of us feel like Kyle Shanahan holds the offense back a lot. I'll be the first. If you're on this train, ride with me. I feel like he holds the offense back a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I think Kyle Shanahan. But what if that was had no other choice? You see what I'm saying? The trust wasn't there, not from his quarterback, but I think Kyle and Brock, the trust is building. I still think it's a work in progress. I'm going to keep it a buck. I don't think it's fully there, but I still think it's a work in progress. I've never seen our coach curse out the quarterback for throwing a touchdown pass because it was the wrong route. But Brock was on one. The timing was there. So like he's throwing it in through these tight windows because he trusts the receiver and the timing of the route. So yeah, it was a tight window. Yeah, it probably was the wrong throw. Could have been had a more high, percentage throw you could have thrown, but the timing was off. And that's so weird to see it, that the timing is off. And yeah, offensive line, we could talk about that all day. Whatever. I don't want to talk about the offensive line today. I'm tired of the offensive line. I just want to see what the offensive line can do. And shout out to those that are trending upwards on the offensive line. I heard Austin Pleasant is doing a fantastic job. Ben Barch sounds like he's going to be starting at the left guard spot. It's going to be really fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? So look, I'm over the offensive line. I just need them to see out there and put in the work, right? Like I want to see them game time. I think that Trent Williams back. That's great. But I'm telling you, man, I think Brock Purdy. I don't know. I just feel like he has the it factor. I do. And it's not Patrick Mahomes it. It's Brock Purdy's it. It's not Josh Allen it. It's not Jalen Hurts it. It is a new it from Brock Purdy. And I can't wait to see what the it looks like this year. We watched a lot of special stuff from Brock, right? Like magical special, like how he do that type stuff, right? I've seen plenty of aha moments from Brock. I'm like, dang. Then we saw some mistakes last year for sure. But I think a lot of the mistakes go back to what Rusty said a little bit earlier, man. He talked about the timing. He said the missed routes, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? He talked about missed routes. Again, thank y'all for your prayers and condolences. I'm seeing them pop up in the chat. I'm not looking at the time, I'm looking at this camera. I'm trying to be better. But I do appreciate that the love and condolences. I saw Felicia say something. I'm just looking for it, scrolling forward so I can highlight it. But thank you for your prayers and condolences. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. Again, Bobo, what's good, Bobo? He says Kyle's excuse last season was he had horrible assistant coaches. For sure, man. Look, I don't know if he'll get the rookies' excuses, but it could be an excuse. I'm not gonna lie. Because when you're playing young players, they have to develop. They got to develop. You got to give them time to develop. I trust. And we're gonna talk about this because I'm gonna switch gears, but for some reason I trust the wide receiving development with the youth a little bit more than I trust the cornerback development with the youth. Speaking of wide receivers, former 49ers wide receiver Chris Conley has officially retired from the NFL. So just wanted to show him some love, give him some flowers, give him his flowers. I think when the announcement came out, I said Warrior. I mean, because he played for multiple teams. He came to the 49ers. He was cut. He was released. He was brought back. He actually signed as a free agent. And then, he's played for a mighty long time, served his purpose, did his role really well. And I really like Chris Conley. I mean, I felt like Chris Conley was a key factor in the Super Bowl. Even though we lost, I felt like he was a key factor in the Super Bowl that we lost against the Chiefs the second time. So congratulations, Chris Conley, man. Much success to you and your endeavors in life, my brother. So congratulations. Again, 49ers offseason dates. We got mini camp June 10th and June 11th. So tomorrow and Wednesday, they're going to be at it. Now, I don't think they're able to be in pads or anything like that. I don't think that starts until training camp, which is in July. But after Wednesday, the Niners get maybe 30 to 40 days off. We'll see what Kyle Shanahan designates that training camp date because the coaches get to control it. It's a window period of time. And usually Kyle doesn't do the full training camp. I don't know if you guys remember. It's like they get out like a week early. Let's see if that changes this year due to this right here, Bobo. I left that up here for a reason. So we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? My man 49er Jeff. But OTAs, I heard, were fun. OTAs were definitely productive. A lot of flash from the rookies out there. Nick Martin, I told y'all he was linebacker too. I mean, what you want? Hey, I said, I was like, I was the first person. I was like, why we drafting with a third round pick? I mean, we could have got him in round 5. That was me. But when we drafted him, I went through, I did my research. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay. This guy, when healthy, this guy is a machine. Literally a machine. We thought the Christian McCaffrey tighten up the screws, the robot. No, that's a robot. This dude is a machine. something different between a robot and a machine. It's a difference. I don't know what the difference is. Like saying there's a difference between shrimp and prawns. At the end of the day, one is more premium and one isn't. Like that's how I look at it. But that dude's a machine. And if he's fully healthy, good golly, oh Molly, I feel like I'm Little Richard about to sing Tutti Frutti or something like that. But good golly, oh Molly, like that's what the Niners need. They need speed, they need energy, they need tackling, they need all that. And look, these are OTAs, so take it with a grain of salt. But once them pads come on, we gonna know for sure who's there to bring the pop. You get what I'm saying? Like we'll know for sure. I don't see Nick Martin didn't miss tackles, a lot of tackles in college, and I don't see Nick Martin missing a lot of tackles in the NFL. Like, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. But I can't wait to see when these guys put on pads. It's going to be fun to watch. We're going to get the pop. We're going to get to see what Mykel Williams could do versus Trent Williams. Oh, iron sharpeneth iron. We're going to see if all that energy and that motor is there once the silverback gets his paws on him. Oh man, I don't know about you. Ghost says Greenlaw 2.0. I think it's a different version of Greenlaw. I do. I'm hearing this. So Filthy says, heard D. Winters is flying around. They said that D. Winters, let's be clear and concise. They said he's the most improved player on the defense. So I'm like, Johnny Holland, salute, sir. Okay? Because, again, D. Winters struggled with injuries. He battled with injuries all last year, so it's kind of really hard to evaluate him. But he didn't have a good sophomore year. Okay, he just didn't. Going into year 3, though, that linebacking core is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Look, Jack says, I'm excited for training camp. So, look, Rusty says, the Winters news. This is great. This is a great problem to have. Log jam at the linebacking spot. 2 young guys coming in. And again, look, the Niners are probably not going to be in base downs a lot, but I think that's what helps them, right? Because they have guys with speed that can cover. And so when you pull off one of the linebackers, you insert the nickelback position, you got the guys with the speed that can cover. So this makes it really good. Like, you know what I mean? And yeah, I agree with you, Rob D. It's kind of like there's no Dre Greenlaw 2.0. You kind of starting a new trend at the linebacking spot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, Dre Greenlaw is one of one. They don't make them like that. There's only going to be one Dre Greenlaw. There was only one Junior Seau. There was only one Ray Lewis. There was only one Patrick Willis. There was only one, I'm just thinking of some of the great linebackers. There was only one Urlacher. There was only one Mike Singletary. It's weird. We don't really compare these linebackers to one another. They all played a certain style of football. Luke Kuechly, probably the most, you want to talk about processing? I don't think anybody processed the linebacking position better than Luke Kuechly. Like, he just processed, like, it was like he had the processing power of a quarterback playing linebacker. Junk was crazy. And I'm missing out on saying some really great linebackers that play in this game, but none of them were alike. Let that sink in. And nobody's like Fred Warner. So let that sink in. Think about it. People want Justin Simmons, right? Well, Justin Simmons was drafted by the Arizona Cardinals to be their Fred Warner. It's funny how there's nobody like Fred Warner. I don't know. He was gifted with the perfect size, the height, the weight. Obviously, he built his strength and processing. And even I get on Fred Warner more than anybody because he's my favorite defensive player. But even I get on him because I feel like he takes the wrong depth at times. There's so many more, I feel like, tip passes he can tip or interceptions if he doesn't play too shallow. And then there's times he's playing too deep. It's so weird, but I know why. We know why. He's overcompensating. So just imagine if Fred gets more, help. You know what I'm saying? Like help underneath, help to the sidelines, help whatever, to where he could go back to being the mental processor on the defense. So there's only one Fred Warner. You can't compare him to anybody. He's probably the best hybrid safety linebacker the NFL has ever seen. And yeah, you got to put him in that category because that's what he was in college. You gotta. It's no. So now you're getting players that are hybrid coming out, and they're playing off ball, and they're playing Mike linebacker. Excuse me, and you're trying to see, can they play like Fred Warner? That's a thing. That's a thing. Believe it or not, that's a thing. So I feel like there's like no linebackers the same. Like, you know what I mean? No linebackers the same. All right, man, look, 49er Jeff says, I'm excited to see how we're going to get to the topic of today's show in about 2 minutes. But I just want to read some of the comments out there. Shout out to my man Faisal. He has his own new channel that he's going to be starting as well. Let me see if I can find it and read it to you guys. All right, so I want you guys to go ahead and support him out there. Put it in the chat if you can. Put the link in the chat, bro, if you can. I don't know if it'll allow you to, but if not, put it in the chat. I mean, if not, send it to one of the moderators and they could put it in the chat. But it's gonna be sports. I can't wait to be on your show and talk football or talk sports or whatever it is you want to talk about, bro. I'm here for you. You have been supporting me since day one, and we meet up at the games. We take our pictures. You know what we don't do? We don't grab a drink or grab. I don't really drink like that, but we could at least. I could drink if you do. Like we need to do that. We need to, and that needs to be our annual thing we do every year, bro. You know what I mean? That needs to be our thing we do every single year. All right, so looking for text message you sent me, and for some reason I'm struggling. I'm on live show and I'm struggling. Here it is. It's called Crossover Sports Talks and Events right here on YouTube. So make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to my brother's channel right here, right? So he has his own channel. It's called Crossover Sports Talk and Events. All right, so Crossover Sports Talk and Events. So make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to his channel for sure. You know what I'm saying? Now, my man 49er Jeff, bro, it's tough calling this man Huff, but I know that's his damn name, right? So like, did you guys see the Nick Bosa presser and they asked him about Huff and he was like, who? And he thought they were talking about Hufanga. You know what I mean? This is a Huff spelled with two F's. Hufanga. Well, we kind of spelled it with two F's because there's only one way to spell Huff, but he only has one F in his name. And so Nick was kind of confused, and we talk about Bryce Huff, right? We talk about Bryce Huff. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yeah. So look, he looked tremendously great at OTAs. You talk about the NASCAR package. You mentioned that NASCAR package several times. This is a key cog to Robert Saleh's defense, and having a guy with that doesn't, responsibility isn't really to set the edge. Responsibility is to go attack the quarterback. Now they have a guy that can win, kind of like D Ford. It's not necessarily like, it's just beating your man in the one-on-one situation, which I feel like Bryce Huff is going to do tremendously. Like, I thought he was utilized wrong in Philly. He went from a 4-3 defense to a 3-4. We talked about that a little bit. But now he's coming back to what he's comfortable in. And why not, right? So when he played under Saleh, when Saleh got there, I'm sure that's when he had his best year, 2023, right? That was when he got that into that Y9 specificity. He was just a rotational player. He wasn't a starter. He didn't have to start, but he did play a tremendous amount of snaps. I'm excited to see what he does. I'm not going to lie. So it's going to be super freaking fun to watch Bryce Huff tee off against some of these right tackles, left tackles, and just watch him win out on the edge. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm super excited. What's going on, Collie? Like, I'm super excited. Corey says, Wayne, do you see a Super Bowl defense? Now, see that I can't say that yet. I can't. It's too many young people. But we have Super Bowl caliber players that I consider pillars on this defense. Okay? I mean, if you start with the secondary, man, look, Deommodore Lenoir is going to be a premier name in the league. I'm sorry. I know he's not getting the respect that he deserves because the interceptions aren't there, whatever, whatever, whatever. But whatever he does this year, and he continues to kind of like lock down, you know, wherever if he's playing in the slot, if he's not playing in the slot, and we're gonna transition to the corners. I'm for it. Like I think he can cover outside, he can cover inside. And so I think he's going to be a premier name in the league. And then you go to the safety position. That's kind of where it gets tricky, right? Because a lot of players that are still developing, and then you brought in some veteran players that were kind of developing, right? But they're veterans like Jason Pinnock, I think Siren Neal, Grant. So you got some guys that are veterans that's played in the league before that probably have familiarity with the system and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that they're going to be starters, but at least you got your backup plans. But I don't think the safety room is as strong. I think the defensive backs room could be the weakest link. I think it's a little bit more weaker than you know the offensive line. I do. And Kylie, I do. We're hearing great things about Austin Pleasants, but don't sleep on my boy Connor Cobley, dog. I'm telling you, man, Connor Cobley, I think is going to be a problem and a steal. I said he was my steal of the draft. 7th round pick, offensive lineman. I think he's going to be steal of the draft, but love what I'm hearing about Austin Pleasants as well. Heard he's going to be the offensive tackle right now. He's offensive tackle 3, so sounds like he's the swing tackle. Offensive tackle 3, meaning Trent Williams, Colt McKivitz, Austin Pleasants. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. You know what I mean? Love it, love it, love it, love it. So it's going to be really fun to watch. So do I see it as a Super Bowl defense? It's tough because there's a lot of young players. And just to go through the rest of the layers, I mean, then it's Fred Warner, then it's a bunch of young players, right? And so think about it. Cornerbacks room, young. Who's your veteran in the cornerbacks room? Other than Deommodore Lenoir, you can go Dallas Flowers. You don't know anything about him, right? We can go Trey Brown coming off of an injury. I mean, Derek Canteen, not much experience, but been in the league. I don't really see, and he's a safety, my apologies. So I don't really see Trey Avery, Chase Lucas is going to get another shot. Like, I don't really see the veteranship there. We're going to hold that thought, though. Hold the thought on the cornerbacks. And then you get to the linebackers, like I said, Fred Warner, and then young players. And then you get to the defensive line. With the addition of Bryce Huff, I feel like that defensive line was Nick Bosa, and then it was young players. Young players. Now your veterans, Jordan Elliott, Utor Gross-Matos, like those would be your veterans. Jonathan Garvin's a veteran. Not sure if he can make the roster. Kevin Givens, another veteran. Like those are guys that are veterans, but I feel like I like what I'm seeing from the defensive front and the rotation. I think they got younger and faster. So it's really hard to say if it's a Super Bowl caliber defense. I said all that to say that. So, Corey, I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Like, if not, I did a poor-ass job of breaking that junk down. I love our defense. It's just young. Do I see it being a Super Bowl caliber defense? It's too early to determine, but we got key pillars. Nick Bosa being a key pillar. I think Bryce Huff is going to be an additional key pillar. He's a Super Bowl champion, too, by the way. Fred Warner, key pillar. Deommodore Lenoir, key pillar. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think Malik Mustafa is the best safety on this roster. I don't know how healthy he's going to be, but I think he's the best safety on the roster right now. And I'm rooting for everybody. Root for Jair Brown. Hopefully he goes in. What is he going into year 3, I believe, or year 4? I don't know. Time is flying. So I'm hoping we see some extra development from these guys. So let's talk about the cornerback room. I feel like there's some guys that are available. And the question is, should the 49ers add more veteran depth, right? Like, so should the 49ers add more veteran depth to the 49ers? I know I used the name twice. I don't really care. And there's a poll question going on, so make sure you guys participate. I gave you some veteran names: Jair Alexander, James Bradbury, Kendall Fuller, and Asante Samuel Jr. Now, Jair Alexander has just been released by the Green Bay Packers, and we understand And all these players that I'm mentioning kind of like injury plagued, right? Like they've been dealing with nagging injuries. Now, on my Patreon, I have my depth chart. I know you guys can go online and get it for free, but if you want to support me, you can get it for $1, right? And I actually created. I'm keeping it updated as much as I can, and I want to show you guys what it looked like, so you know you guys can see. So let's get to this cornerbacks room because that's where we want to go, right? We're looking at left corners. I got Deommodore Lenoir, Trey Avery, Chase Lucas. He was the walk-on or the undrafted free agent. And then you got Renardo Green, who I think is going to be continuing to excel and trend upwards. Darrell Luter Jr., Dallas Flowers, the veteran you just signed as a free agent. Jacob Robinson, the undrafted free agent. You signed Trey Brown in the offseason. Upton Stout, you drafted, and Siren Neal or Saron Neal, another vet that you brought in, younger vet. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at this cornerbacks room, I'm like, it's Demo, it's Green, and I feel like I don't know if they have any type of safety security just in case Green has a sophomore slump. Like, who's that veteran? Like, who in this room do you trust? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who do you trust? All right. So I see some questions out there. Jack says, Wayne, is there someone besides Alexander? Well, let me tell you why I like Alexander. I do know the trade for Jalen Ramsey, the 49ers, the Miami Dolphins are still looking for suitors to trade Jalen Ramsey. It's going to be interesting. I want to know, will they release him at some point? He clearly doesn't want to be there. And can I talk about Jalen Ramsey for a second? Now, I don't know if you guys remember this. Again, you could get this document and all my 49er documents right on my Patreon, okay? Gross Ma Toast, Mortal Kombat voice. I like that, Slick. That was dope. Filthy says, after Campbell, I don't want any more Packers. You got to talk about Jair Alexander because last year he only played in 7 games, but he did have 2 interceptions and a touchdown return. I just want to put that out there. He hasn't played a lot of football, a lot of full football last 2. So if I go back to 23 and 24 in those 2 years, man, only 7 games apiece. So that's 14 total games that he played in, 2 interceptions in those 2 games. We're talking about an all-pro player. We're talking about 2-time Pro Bowl, 2-time All-Pro. He fits this defense, though. Feels like Saleh's a zone guy. I don't know. I'm all for players with changes of scenery and, the contract situation. I think he has 2 years left on his deal, worth up to $17 million, if I'm not mistaken. I just feel like, why the hell not? You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at it. 2000. All right, so I'm seeing him on the books. So it's $10 million this year. I feel like the Niners can, if he was released, his contract is going to be pretty much null and voided. You sign him to a 1-year prove-it deal. You bring in Jair Alexander. I don't know if he's unhealthy or healthy, but at this point, bring him in, veteran deal. Not a veteran deal, but a 1-year deal. Prove it. Prove, number one, you can stay healthy. He won't hinder the defense unless he's unhealthy, but even having him in the cornerbacks room, it's like getting another Demo. Yeah, that's what you're getting. You're getting another. So can you imagine 2 Demos, 2 types of players, feisty ass attitudes, scrappy, like on the same roster? Yeah, I can. And again, like I said, you got to evaluate his health. That's key. But when he's healthy, he's the guy. Therefore, I don't think he's going to be able to command a lot of money unless there's a team that just says F the health, and we'll sign you to a deal. Like, it could be that. But there is, according to, and I do want to put this out, shout out to my guy, Coach Yak, the 49ers and Raiders have the highest odds to sign free agent Jair Alexander. 49ers and Raiders are tied at plus 400, according to bookies. So, look, he'll probably end up a Raider and his career be over. But And that's a Pete Carroll defense, new regime out there. So I apologize. No, I don't. It's Raiders. Raiders, don't matter who's the head coach, doesn't matter, it's Raiders. But, or you can go to San Francisco 49ers and potentially, compete for a championship. So you add Jair Alexander to this freaking defensive backs room. Oh, man. And there's versatility there, right? So you can play outside, you can play inside. So I really do like it. Now, Jax wants to know, is there someone besides Alexander? Now, I talked about possibly trading for Jalen Ramsey. We just traded for Bryce Huff. If you can get a Jalen Ramsey on a trade, now his contract's a little different. His contract's a little bit more. But why not go after the veteran lockdown corner? Now, let me just make this connection, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay, let me make the connection. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I apologize. But if you go back to who we added this year, coaching. Let's talk about the coaches. Who did Kyle Shanahan add as a coach? Shout out to my man Edgar Ascoli. Thank you for the super sticker, man. Appreciate you, my brother. Hey, Jalen Ramsey was drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars back in 2016, correct? Gus Bradley was the coach in Jacksonville, correct? Jalen Ramsey was like an all-pro, Pro Bowl cornerback his tenure pretty much in Jacksonville. Gus Bradley moves on, defense changes, Jalen Ramsey, whatever. Now, I said that Saleh, whatever, we're going to play a lot of zone. That's because I don't think we have any man corners like a Jalen Ramsey. Now, I know he's older, and all these guys that I'm mentioning are old, right? Now, I think the 49ers could get themselves in a trade situation and probably trade for a guy like Jalen Ramsey, depending on how much Miami's asking. But you got to think about the two ties with the two teams. You got former Mike, I don't know why his last name is drawing a blank, but you know who I'm talking about. And then you and Kyle Shanahan, they will probably work to make a deal. It probably cost the 49ers a fourth-round pick or a third-round pick. We're going to have plenty of compensatory picks. You get what I'm saying? And so let's talk about that. You could trade for Jalen Ramsey. I would be here for it. Now you got a man corner, which locks down on an island, okay? And sign me up because now I can you draft a guy like, you sign a guy like Jalen or trade for a guy like Jalen Ramsey, even though I don't like him because of what he used to do to us as a Ram. He ain't been really doing much in the NFL, but I tell you what, they still don't throw to him. So that right there lets me know he could be wrong. Now, if he's released, he may move up to my free agent veteran cornerback list. If he's released. Now, trading is a different conversation, but if he's released and he becomes a free agent, Jackson, that might be the bell ringer that Gus Bradley, Jalen Ramsey connection, you bring him back to the Gus Bradley situation. Bradley is the senior over the defense anyway. Man, that could be something to look into. And you heard it here first. Maybe we see a reunion between Gus Bradley and Jalen Ramsey, either via trade. He has not been released. He's not a free agent, so that would be the only way you can get him. The question is, what will the Niners be willing to offer and how much, and what are the Miami Dolphins looking for? But since we're talking about free agents, I really do like the fact of getting a guy like Jair Alexander because healthy, you are on point. It won't cost you much money. It's not going to cost you much money. He's a veteran. He's coming off an injury season. He knows he's going to be playing for some type of a contract next year. If he can prove he can stay on the healthy route, that's good for him. It's great for the Niners. It's kind of like a win-win situation. It's a high reward type of situation because you're getting a Pro Bowl caliber player, hopefully for the freaking low. Like, you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? And now you've just improved the quality of your cornerbacks room. So even if you're allowing your safeties to develop, you stay young and you get them in there, you know that on the bookends, the outside is going to be locked, period. Demo, Alexander. So the question would be, well, what happens to Renardo Green? What happens to these guys? Hey, man, we signed some free agents that I don't even know if they're going to make this roster. And I don't like Green in the slot, but can't Jair Alexander play nickel? Can't you move him to the nickel? Coming off an injury, or put him on the outside, move Deommodore Lenoir to the nickel. I'd much rather have him on the outside, Demo in the nickel. I just trust Deommodore Lenoir. Wherever you put him, I trust it. I trust him 1,000%. Shout out to Jax Knox. She just gifted a membership to the channel right here, Jax. I appreciate that. I'm trying to see who you gifted it to. Oh my gosh, we got the poll going right now. Now, the Niners could go another route, and I'm going to talk about these players that I actually have on the poll question. So I got the 4 guys. Ashanti Samuel, he only played in junior. He only played in 4 games last season. All right, so injuries, another injury situation. Now he's younger. Again, you could probably, and he hasn't been signed yet. So these are guys you can get on these 1 year prove it mother freaking deals. You know what I'm saying? Collie, I'm with you. Jax, you gifted a membership to Filthy Casual, man. Welcome to the Breezy Bunch crew, baby. Thank you, Jax. You thank Jax. All right. Rusty said McDaniel gets fired. Could not think of his last name, Mike. I mean, Mike McDaniel. I couldn't figure it out. I was struggling, right? Callie, yes. This is how I want to see it. This is how I want to see it. Now, Corey said Ashanti Samuel, so let's talk about him. Now, if you're going back to when he had his last full season, 2023, and that's fine. I don't mind going back. I don't mind going back at all. He played in 17 games, started 16, had 2 interceptions that year, 13 pass deflections. That's what I'm looking for right there. It's not necessarily about the INTs. Those are like the bonuses. It's almost like quarterbacks, defensive ends and pressures and the sacks. The sacks are the bonus. The pressure is you're trying to get the quarterback off timing. That's the pressure. And then if you can get home, you can finish, you get the sack. That's the bonus, right? So for defensive backs, the key is to play great coverage, get the pass deflections, force an incomplete pass. The bonus is if you can jump the route, know the route, pick the route, do whatever you can to get the interception. All right. So Ashanti Samuel, the younger of all of the players on my choices, is still available. No one has signed him. Not sure really about his injury and his recovery from the injury, but hey, listen, it's crazy. Now going with more veterans, another guy that can play in the nickel, Kendall Fuller. All right. He's one of the Fuller brothers, related to Corey, Kyle, Vincent, all the Fullers, right? Super Bowl champion. You gotta give him that. He's still a free agent according to Spot Rack. Still a free agent. So he could be a guy that the Niners may be interested in. Could play in the slot, could play outside. He was a 3rd-round pick in the draft. And when you go back to his last year in Miami, he played in 11 games, started all 11 games. Statistically wasn't there. You know what I mean? So I'm looking for pass deflections. He did have 7 pass deflections in 2024. Outside, he played predominantly on the outside as the right cornerback for the Miami Dolphins. You see that they did not bring him back to the Miami Dolphins. He's still a free agent out there. So there's some talent, in my opinion, out there. And I want to go with one of the old dinosaurs, James Bradbury, man. Look, this kid, former 2nd-round pick with the Carolina Panthers. Maybe there's some ties, but this is a Super Bowl champion, right? So he's a former Pro Bowler. He might not be a Super Bowl champion now that I think about it. I don't know if he won the Super Bowl. Anyway, because he was done in 2023. So 16 games, all right. He did have an interception that year, 2023. He's been free agent. He might be done, but who knows? Role guy, veteran minimum, championship caliber guy, doesn't hurt the cornerbacks room. If anything, will help aid and help out the young room, because that, to me, to take a page out of good old Peachy's book, where's the veteran leadership? Where's the veteran leadership? You know what I'm saying? And that, to me, is most important. I feel like I'm leaning on Demo to be that veteran guy. And I don't know if I'm not saying he's not up for the task. I'm not saying that. But I feel like I want him to play. I want him to continue to focus just on playing great football. Now, yeah, he's going to be a veteran by nature. Even Nick Bosa, I don't want Nick Bosa veteran anybody. I know he is that. And I like that he's mentoring people. I like that Demo's mentor. I love the mentoring. I love the fact that they're there. But where's maybe the Niners just need one guy in just about every room that has played elite football on a high level for multiple years, just to show you how it's done. We've seen in this Kyle Shanahan regime, when you bring in those type of key veterans, it just improves the team. Offensively, the wide receiving room blossomed the moment they traded for Emmanuel Sanders. It was like he taught all the wide receivers how to play wide receiver. Whatever, right? We've seen that happen before. The question is, will we see that happen in the cornerbacks room? So should the 49ers add more veteran depth to the team? Let me know what you guys think on the rewatch of the show. And I'm going to end the poll. We have 61 votes. Thank y'all so much for voting. And the poll question specifically was, which veteran should the 49ers look to get? And I think, I'm looking for the results, we have a tie. How y'all gonna end on a tie?
A bullshit? A bullshit?
I can't even announce a winner. You guys ended on a tie. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Shout out to my brother Matthew. Says, Wayne, I'm at work. Can't stay for the whole show, but wanted to send you my condolences. Sorry for the passing of your grandmother. Praying for you and your family, bro. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We ended on a tie. And it's Jair Alexander and Ashanti Samuel. So you guys, man, thank y'all for participating in the poll. Appreciate that. I'm trying to do better as a moderator and stuff and be more interactive. I love interaction. I can't do a show and just not interact. I'll leave it at that. Guys, thank y'all so much for being with me and taking an hour out of your day as I continue to, grieve and stuff like that. I truly appreciate this. I'm probably going to go disappear for a little while. And don't sleep, because we're going to get the BAM show back on track. I'm just getting stuff together. So Mike and I will be bringing that back very shortly. But I do appreciate those that are here. Please hit that like button if you didn't already. If this is your first time watching and you like what you saw, or if you didn't like what you see, just go ahead and click on subscribe anyway, because I guarantee you I'll give you something that you'll like at some point. All right. And if you want to support the channel, again, you could become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew. There's a link in the live chat. There's also a link in the description. Or you can just click on the damn join button. I mean, if you're watching, I guess, on computer, it's right there. I appreciate you guys. I do love y'all. Like, I know I've broken down and cried before. I'm not going to do that right now. But I love y'all. Just know that. And I appreciate every one of you. Even if I don't know you, even if this is your first time watching, I appreciate that. So let's go ahead and make the 49ers better. And they can do so by adding a veteran to the cornerback room. So let me know what you guys think, man. You know what I'm saying? And just for those out there, shout out to my brother Raj, our SF 49ers. He says that Malik Mustafa is going to be sticking with the number 6. All right, it's going to be sticking with the number 6. So no number change for him. You know what I mean? And let's get it popping. Love y'all, man. Keep it faithful to the Bay always, and stay locked and loaded right here, man. And don't forget to follow my new page, Breezie Eats. I just feel like trending with food right now. I'm just in a food moment, so I'm gonna be posting there shortly. All right, so love y'all. Peace out. What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.